Hello and a very quiet welcome to you. Let your shoulders relax and allow your breathing to become slow and deep. Tonight, we are going on a gentle journey back in time to the very beginnings of our world to meet its first and most patient builders, the volcanoes. We will see them not as agents of chaos, but as the master architects of the world we call home. So just listen and let your mind grow soft and still. Let us begin at the true beginning. Imagine, if you can, the Earth not as it is now, but as it was over 4 billion years ago. A newborn planet, still cooling from its violent formation. Its surface is a dynamic, chaotic canvas, not of rock and ocean as we know it, but of cooling slag and immense global seas of molten magma. The sky is a different color. The air is thick with gases, and the silence is broken only by the deep, planetary groans of a world taking shape. And in this primordial scene, the first landscapes are being born. Not from the erosion of wind and water, but from the slow, deliberate welling up of material from the planet's fiery heart. The first mountains are pushed upwards, not by the folding of continents, but by the steady, persistent pressure of magma forcing its way through a thin and fragile crust. This is the dawn of volcanism. This is the moment the Earth began to build itself. These are the original architects laying the foundational stones of all that was to come. Now let your imagination travel from that global dawn to a more specific, yet equally profound act of creation. Picture the deep, dark abyss of the Pacific Ocean floor. Here, in the profound silence and pressure of the deep, a hot spot, a stable, focused plume of immense heat from the Earth's mantle, has been in a state of constant, patient eruption for tens of millions of years. It is a fixed point of creation in a moving world. The Pacific tectonic plate, a vast slab of the Earth's crust, is drifting over this plume at a speed no faster than your fingernails grow. And as it drifts, the persistent heat from below melts the rock, creating bubbles of magma that rise inexorably towards the surface. This process repeats itself, not for years or centuries, but for millennia. Each eruption, each lava flow adds another layer. One flow might be only a few inches thick, cooling into solid rock upon the one before it. Then another comes and another, layer upon layer, flow upon flow, with the patience of a planet that has all the time in the universe. Slowly, imperceptibly, a mountain grows from the seafloor. It rises from the abyssal plain, climbing upwards through the dark water, until one day it breaks the surface. It meets the air, the wind, and the rain for the very first time. This is how the Hawaiian Islands were built. This is how every island in that long, serene chain was created. They are not random acts of geological violence. They are a deliberate, slow-motion signature of the Earth's internal engine. They are monuments to patience, built one peaceful layer at a time. And the architectural genius of volcanoes extends beyond the grand scale of islands and mountains. It is found in the fine, intricate details of their masonry. When a thick, viscous lava flow finally comes to rest and begins to cool, it doesn't just harden randomly. It contracts as it cools, and in contracting, it cracks. But these cracks are not chaotic. They follow the immutable laws of physics, fracturing in a way that minimizes stress, forming perfect geometric patterns. Most often, they form magnificent hexagonal columns as if laid out with a divine compass and ruler. These natural pillars, like those found at the Giant's Causeway or Devil's Tower, are like the pillars of a natural cathedral. They are a permanent record of a moment of intense heat, surrendering to the slow, cool patience of time. It is a geometry of rest, a structure born from the peaceful resolution of the conflict between fire and stone. Finally, consider the most fundamental gift of these architects, the very ground beneath us, the soil that feeds the forests, the fields, and us. So much of the world's most fertile, life-giving soil is volcanic in origin. When volcanic rock, rich with minerals locked deep within the Earth's mantle, is exposed to wind, rain, and time, it slowly breaks down. It releases a rich, nourishing cocktail of elements, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, that are essential for life, but which are scarce on the surface. Volcanoes act as a great recycling system, a delivery mechanism that brings the vitality of the deep earth to the surface. The incredibly fertile plains around Mount Vesuvius in Italy, the lush green terraces of Java in Indonesia, the vibrant vineyards of the Pacific Northwest, all grow from this volcanic gift. The architects did not just build the structure of our continents, they also tilled the soil and provided the nutrients for life itself to take root and flourish. They built the house and then they planted the garden. So, as you feel the weight of your body resting now, supported by your bed, by the floor, by the very crust of the earth, remember that you are resting on the work of these ancient, patient architects. The ground you walk on every day is their masterpiece, constructed over spans of time so vast our minds can scarcely comprehend them. Every horizon dominated by a mountain, every pebble on a path, every bite of food you eat, carries within it the memory of that original, creative fire. There is a profound and deep peace in knowing that the world is so solid, so well made, and so ancient. Let that thought settle over you now, as heavy and comforting as a warm blanket. You are safe, you are supported, you are home on a planet that has spent billions of years carefully, patiently building a place for you to rest. As we continue our gentle journey, let us turn our attention from the solitary architects to a grander, more encompassing phenomenon, a planetary rhythm that beats with a slow and steady pulse. We often hear the name and imagine a realm of constant terror and chaos. But tonight we will listen to it differently. We will hear it not as a ring of fear, but as a ring of fire, a vast natural metronome that keeps time for the earth itself. So let your breathing fall into a soft, regular pattern and let us explore the soothing, predictable rhythm of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Picture in your mind's eye the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. It is the largest single feature on our planet, a great blue expanse of tranquility. But now imagine tracing a line around its entire basin, a great arcing circle that runs from the southern tip of South America, up along the coast of North America, across the Aleutian Islands of Alaska, down through the archipelago of Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, and all the way to New Zealand. This is the Ring of Fire. It is not a literal line of flame, but a profound and continuous meeting place. It is where several of the Earth's great tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate, the North American Plate, the Philippine Sea Plate, and others, are slowly, gently, but persistently diving beneath one another in a process we call subduction. This process is the engine of the ring, and its rhythm is set by the most patient of clocks. The plates move at a speed that is almost meditative in its slowness, a few centimeters per year. That is about the same speed at which your hair grows. It is a pace that is utterly imperceptible in a human lifetime, yet it is constant, unstoppable, and powerful beyond measure. This is the first layer of the rhythm, the slow, inexorable dance of continents and ocean floors, a waltz that has been ongoing for hundreds of millions of years. Now, let us follow one of these plates on its journey. The dense oceanic crust of the Pacific Plate meets the lighter, buoyant crust of a continent. Unable to overcome this buoyancy, the oceanic plate does not push against it. Instead, it accepts its fate and begins to bend, diving downwards into the Earth's hot, malleable mantle. This is the subduction zone. As this vast slab of rock descends, the immense pressure and growing heat begin to cook it. Water and other volatile elements trapped within the rock for eons are slowly released. This release acts like a flux, lowering the melting point of the surrounding mantle rock, and so the rock begins to melt. This newly formed magma, being hotter and lighter than the solid rock around it, begins its own slow journey. It starts to percolate upwards, pooling in vast chambers deep within the crust. It does not rush. It gathers, it cools slightly, it undergoes its own quiet transformation. This is the second layer of the rhythm, the slow, deliberate birth of magma, a process measured in thousands of years. The pressure in these chambers builds not explosively but steadily until it finds a pathway to the surface. And when it does, it gives rise to the volcanoes that dot the entire ring of fire. From Mount Fuji to Mount Rainier, from Mount St. Helens to Krakatoa, each one is a vent, a release valve for this immense planetary pressure cooker. Their eruptions are not random, chaotic events, but the predictable, rhythmic outcome of this deep geophysical process. There is a profound comfort in this predictability. Just as the tides are pulled by the moon and the seasons are turned by the Earth's tilt, the volcanoes of the Ring of Fire are a response to a fundamental planetary motion. They are a symptom of a living, breathing planet. Seismologists and volcanologists listen to this rhythm every day. They monitor the tiny earthquakes that signal the shifting of plates, the slight inflation of a mountainside that whispers of rising magma, the changes in gas emissions that hint at stirrings from below. They are learning to understand the Earth's quiet language, and in understanding it they find not fear, but a deep respect for the system's order. The Ring of Fire, therefore, is not a chaotic, angry place. It is a system of immense balance. It is the planet's primary way of releasing the immense internal heat that has been with it since its formation. It is a recycling system where old, cold ocean floor is consumed, melted, and ultimately returned to the surface as new rock and new land. It is a continuous process of renewal, a great, slow exhale that has been happening for aeons, long before humans walked the earth, and one that will continue long after we are gone. So as you lie here in the quiet, you can think of this great, peaceful rhythm, the slow drift of the plates, the patient formation of magma, the steady release of pressure. It is a cycle that operates on a timescale so grand that it makes our daily worries seem small and fleeting. It is a reminder that we live on a planet that moves to its own deep, slow music. A planet that is alive and whose life force follows a pattern of beautiful, predictable, and ultimately soothing order. Let the steady, unhurried pulse of the Ring of Fire lull you into a deeper state of calm. It is the heartbeat of the planet, and it is beating perfectly, just for you, right now. Let us now turn our attention to the most fundamental expression of a volcano's quiet work. We often imagine it as a terrifying river of fire, but tonight we will see it in a different light. We will explore the patient, persistent, and deeply creative nature of lava itself. So settle in and let your mind visualize this process not as destruction, but as the Earth's slow and gentle art of creation. Imagine a mountainside, not in a state of violent explosion, but in a state of peaceful outflow. From a vent or a fissure, the lava begins to emerge. It is not a sudden burst, but a steady, deliberate welling up like honey pouring from a jar. At first, it is a brilliant, incandescent orange, a liquid so hot it glows with the warmth of the planet's interior. But as it begins its journey away from the source, it immediately starts to change, to cool, and to build the land anew. There are different kinds of lava, each with its own character and pace. The lava that forms smooth, flowing rivers is known as pahoho. It is fluid and rich in basalt. As it moves, its surface cools just enough to form a thin, flexible skin, while the molten rock beneath continues its slow advance. This creates incredible, ropey, and billowing shapes, as if the stone were a thick liquid being folded by a gentle, unseen hand. Watching a pahoho flow is like observing a slow-motion wave. It inches forward, sometimes pausing, sometimes surging, but always with a quiet, relentless determination. It hisses softly as it touches cooler ground, not with a roar, but with a sigh releasing steam into the air. This is not a destructive force. It is a creative one, sculpting the landscape with a fluid and graceful patience. The other common type of lava is called RIR. It is the same material but slightly cooler and more viscous. As it moves, it doesn't fold, it breaks. Its surface is a thick, clinking mass of sharp, jagged blocks that tumble and grind over the molten interior. The sound of an A flow is a soft, persistent clatter, like a million pieces of broken pottery being slowly pushed along. It moves more slowly than Pahoho, a crumbling, bulldozing mass that advances with immense, unstoppable weight. Yet, even in its rough appearance, there is a profound gentleness in its slowness. It gives you time to observe, to contemplate, to respect its path. It is not malicious. It is simply following the path of least resistance with a patient, grinding inevitability. But the true magic, the most gentle and transformative act of the lava flow, happens when it meets the ocean. Imagine a river of incandescent orange lava after its long, slow journey, finally reaching the edge of the land. It meets the cool, dark water of the sea. There is no catastrophic explosion, but rather a slow, steady process. As the lava pours into the water, it instantly quenches, hardening into solid rock. It builds deltas of black sand and rugged new headlands. It creates pillow basalts, great piles of bulbous, overlapping lava lobes that look like stacks of stone pillows. Each one formed as a blob of lava squirts out and is instantly frozen by the water. This is how the Earth patiently adds new land, building it layer by layer, pillow by pillow, in a quiet, monumental act of growth. And then, consider the aftermath. A lava flow, once it has cooled, is not a barren wasteland. It is a blank slate, a new beginning. The rock, as it weathers over centuries, will break down into the most fertile soil on Earth. But even before that, life finds a way. Remarkably, certain plants and animals are specially adapted to be the first colonists on these fresh lava fields. Ferns and mosses send their roots into the smallest cracks. Insects and spiders arrive on the wind. The lava flow, which seemed so sterile, becomes the foundation for an entirely new ecosystem. It is an act of ultimate renewal, clearing the old and providing a pristine mineral foundation for the new. So as you drift towards sleep, let go of any image of lava as a destructive fury. See it instead as the Earth's gentle, creative breath made solid. It is a slow, flowing sculptor. It is a patient land builder. It is the provider of future fertility. Its power is not in its speed, but in its profound, unhurried persistence. It is the planet's way of saying, I am still building, I am still creating. And it does so with a gentle, steady power that can, if you let it, lull you into the deepest and most peaceful of sleeps. Let the thought of these slow, flowing rivers of stone calm your mind and carry you away on a current of tranquility. In the vast, quiet expanse of the ocean, a miracle of patience and persistence unfolds. Far from any continent, in the profound solitude of the deep sea, one of the planet's most majestic acts of creation begins. It is a process measured not in days or years, but in millennia. It is the slow, deliberate birth of an island. Tonight, let us journey to the heart of this process and discover how volcanoes, with gentle and unwavering determination, build new worlds from the ocean floor. Imagine the scene. The seafloor, miles below the surface, is a landscape of eternal darkness, immense pressure, and deep silence. Here, on the abyssal plain, a weak spot exists in the Earth's crust. It may be a hot spot, a persistent plume of superheated rock rising from the deep mantle, or a boundary where tectonic plates are pulling apart. Through this weakness, the Earth's inner heat finds its escape. Magma, that liquid rock, from the planet's interior, begins to push its way upward. It does not rush. It is a slow, steady intrusion, a patient accumulation of material that begins to pile up on the seafloor. This is the very beginning, the laying of a foundation in the absolute dark, a secret project undertaken by the planet itself. The process is one of immense and repetitive patience. Each volcanic eruption, each lava flow adds another layer to the growing mountain. A single flow might be only inches thick. It cools rapidly in the cold seawater, hardening into a layer of dark basaltic rock. Then another flow comes and another. For thousands of years this cycle continues, the welling up of magma, the slow advance of lava, the sudden quenching by water, the solidification into stone. Layer upon layer the submarine mountain grows, rising from the abyssal plain towards the distant, sunlit surface. It is a silent, unseen construction project of epic proportions, a mountain being built one peaceful layer at a time. As the volcanic pile nears the surface, a magical transformation occurs. For the first time, its summit pierces the water. A new island is born, steaming and hissing as it meets the air. The first island in a chain, like Hawaii's Loihi, is often just a seamount that has not yet broken the surface, but its arrival is imminent. When it does finally emerge, it is a raw, black landscape of volcanic rock, utterly barren yet full of potential. It is a new piece of the world, a gift from the Earth's interior, offered to the sky. This is not a chaotic or violent event, but a gentle breaking of the surface. The lava continues to flow, both below the water and above it, steadily increasing the island's girth and height. The most famous example of this is the Hawaiian Emperor Seamount chain. Each island in that long, graceful arc was built over the same stationary hotspot. As the Pacific plate slowly drifted northwestward over millions of years, the hotspot acted like a fixed blowtorch, punching through the crust to create a new volcano each time. The result is a string of islands, each at a different stage of life, from the still-growing big island of Hawaii to the ancient, eroded peaks of the Emperor Seamounts, now submerged. This chain is a timeline of volcanic creation, a visible record of the planet's slow, creative pulse. But the volcano's work as an island builder is not done once the land emerges. The most fertile and beautiful islands on Earth are the direct result of this volcanic genesis. The same eruptions that build the land also create the foundation for life. Volcanic rock is rich in minerals. As it weathers over centuries, broken down by wind and rain, it releases these nutrients, creating incredibly fertile soil. What begins as a barren black rock slowly transforms into a lush, green paradise. The Hawaiian Islands, the Galapagos, the Canary Islands, all are testaments to this life-giving power. The volcano builds the stage, and then life, carried by winds and waves, arrives to perform its symphony. There is a profound, humbling peace in contemplating this process. An island does not appear overnight. It is the culmination of a patient, persistent effort that spans hundreds of thousands of years. It is the Earth dreaming a new world into existence, slowly and deliberately. Each layer of lava is a sentence in a long, geological story. Each new island is a chapter in the planet's autobiography. So, as you rest, let this image soothe your mind. Picture the dark, quiet ocean depths. Imagine the slow, steady accumulation of rock, the patient rise of a mountain from the abyss, and its gentle, triumphant break into the sunlight. It is a process that operates on a time scale of pure patience, a testament to the quiet, creative forces that are always at work on our planet. You are living on a world that is still making itself, still adding new lands to its collection, still dreaming new islands into being. Let the slow, steady rhythm of island building lull you into a deep and peaceful sleep, secure in the knowledge that you are part of a world that is forever, gently, creating itself anew. As we continue to explore the quiet wonders of our volcanic world, we come to one of their most vital and most overlooked roles. We have seen them as architects and island builders, but now let us consider them as guardians, not in a dramatic, active sense, but as passive, patient stewards of the planet's very climate. Volcanoes, in their immense wisdom, act as the Earth's natural thermostat, maintaining a delicate balance that has allowed life to flourish for billions of years. So, let us settle in and understand this slow, breathing rhythm that keeps our world temperate and alive. To understand this, we must first appreciate a simple, profound truth. The Earth is always breathing. Not in the way we do, but in a slower, grander way. It breathes heat and gases. The planet's interior contains a vast store of carbon dioxide, a greenhouse gas that has been buried in the mantle since the Earth's formation. If this CO2 were all released at once, the world would become a scorching, uninhabitable oven. Conversely, if it were all locked away forever, the planet would freeze into a solid ball of ice. The balance is everything, and volcanoes are the gentle regulators of this balance. Imagine the slow, steady process of the planetary carbon cycle. Over millions of years, atmospheric carbon dioxide is naturally drawn down. It dissolves in rainwater, forming a weak acid that slowly weathers and breaks down surface rocks. These minerals are then carried by rivers to the ocean, where they settle on the seafloor. Eventually, through the movement of tectonic plates, this carbon-rich seafloor is pulled back into the Earth's mantle at subduction zones. The carbon is buried, taken out of the atmosphere, and stored deep within the planet. Left unchecked, this process would slowly, steadily cool the Earth, drawing down the greenhouse gases that keep it warm. But the planet, in its infinite wisdom, has a release valve. This is where volcanoes come in. At those same subduction zones and at hotspots around the globe, the carbon dioxide that was drawn down and buried is now reheated. It becomes volatile once more, and it rises. It mixes with the magma, and when the volcano gently erupts, it releases this ancient carbon back into the atmosphere as a gas. It is a slow, steady exhalation. This is not a pollutant. It is a fundamental part of the planet's life support system. This returning CO2 replenishes the atmosphere, restoring the greenhouse effect and keeping the planet from freezing over. It is a cycle of breathtaking simplicity and elegance, a slow-motion exchange between the Earth's interior and its atmosphere, with volcanoes serving as the gentle intermediaries. This thermostatic function is not a constant, steady stream. It too has its own rhythm. During periods of intense tectonic activity, when many volcanoes are more active, the exhalation of CO2 increases. This can lead to a natural warming of the planet, creating greenhouse periods in Earth's history. During quieter tectonic times with fewer eruptions, the drawdown of CO2 through rock weathering can outpace its release, leading to a cooling trend and the spread of ice ages. These are not catastrophes. They are the long, slow breaths of the planet, the thermostat adjusting itself over millions of years. The world has been both much warmer and much colder than it is today, and volcanoes have always been there, patiently helping to regulate the transition. There is an even more immediate and surprisingly cooling aspect to this volcanic thermostat. When a volcano has a large, explosive eruption, it can inject vast quantities of sulfur dioxide gas high into the stratosphere. Up there, this gas quickly condenses with water vapor to form tiny droplets of sulfuric acid, creating a fine, hazy aerosol veil. This veil is so high up that rain cannot wash it out. For the next 2 or 3 years, this aerosol shield will drift around the globe, reflecting a small percentage of incoming sunlight back into space. The result is a gentle, temporary global cooling. The eruption of Mount Pinatubo in 1991, for example, lowered the average global temperature by about 0.5 degrees Celsius for nearly 2 years. It was the planet, in a sense, dimming the lights just a little, providing a brief, natural respite from the heat. So, when you hear of a volcanic eruption, see it not just as a local event, but as part of this vast, planetary balancing act. The same forces that build mountains also maintain the very climate that allows us to live. They are the keepers of the flame and the masters of the shade. They release the gases that warm us and occasionally cast a veil that cools us. They operate on a time scale so grand that our human concerns are but a fleeting moment in their long, patient vigil. There is a deep, profound comfort in this. The Earth is not a passive stage upon which life unfolds. It is an active, self-regulating system. It has its own checks and balances, its own rhythms of release and containment. Volcanoes are a key part of that beautiful, stable system. They are the dial on the planet's thermostat, turning slowly, almost imperceptibly, to keep the world in a state that is, for us, just right. Let this thought bring you a deep sense of peace and security as you drift towards sleep. You are living on a planet that knows how to take care of itself. It has built-in mechanisms for balance operated by these gentle, powerful giants. The air you breathe, the climate you enjoy, is part of a cycle that has been maintained by volcanoes for aeons. Rest easy, knowing you are cradled by a world that is wise, stable, and forever watching over its own equilibrium. To truly understand the peaceful nature of volcanoes, we must first appreciate the grand, slow-moving ballet that gives them life. This is a dance that shapes continents, builds mountains, and recycles the very ground beneath our feet. It is a performance of unimaginable scale and patience, where the dancers are entire continents and ocean floors, and the music is the deep, internal heat of the earth itself. Tonight, we will observe this performance not with anxiety, but with a sense of wonder at its graceful, unhurried rhythm. Let us explore the slow dance of tectonic plates. Picture the Earth not as a solid, unchanging ball of rock, but as a dynamic, layered sphere. The crust upon which we live is not a single, continuous shell. Instead, it is broken into a mosaic of immense pieces like a cracked eggshell. These pieces are the tectonic plates. Some carry continents vast and ancient. Others form the deep, dense floor of the oceans. And these plates are not static. They are in constant, deliberate motion, floating on the hot, soft layer of the mantle below. This motion is the most fundamental and peaceful force in geology. It is the engine of our living planet. The pace of this dance is its most soothing quality. These colossal plates move at a speed that is almost meditative. They travel at roughly the same rate your fingernails grow, a few centimeters each year. In a human lifetime, this movement amounts to a few meters at most. It is a pace so slow that it is utterly imperceptible to our senses. We cannot feel the North American continent drifting slowly away from Europe, widening the Atlantic Ocean by the width of a handspan over a decade. This slowness is not a sign of weakness, but of immense, steady power. It is the power of consistency, of a force that never tires, never rushes, and never ceases. There are three fundamental steps in this planetary dance, and each one leads to the serene creation of volcanoes in its own way. The first step is the divergent dance, where two plates slowly pull away from each other. Imagine the mid-Atlantic ridge, a vast underwater mountain range that runs like a seam down the center of the Atlantic Ocean. Here, the Eurasian and North American plates are drifting apart. As they separate, the Earth's mantle rises to fill the gap, melting to form new magma. This magma wells up gently, cooling to create new oceanic crust. It is a creative, constructive process, the planet slowly adding new material to its skin, building a submarine mountain chain in the process. The volcanoes here are mostly hidden beneath the waves, quietly building the future foundations of the world. The second step is the convergent dance, a more complex and profound movement. This is where two plates meet. Sometimes this meeting results in the majestic crumpling of continental crust, pushing up immense mountain ranges like the Himalayas, a slow-motion collision that continues to this day. But more often for volcanoes, it involves subduction. When a dense oceanic plate meets a lighter continental plate, it gracefully dives beneath it, bending downwards and descending into the mantle. As this plate sinks, it carries water and sediments with it. This water lowers the melting point of the surrounding mantle rock, causing it to melt and generate magma. This buoyant magma then begins its slow, patient journey upwards, pooling in chambers that will one day feed the volcanoes of the Ring of Fire. This is not a violent collision, but a smooth sinking descent, a plate completing its long journey by returning to the Earth's interior, its recycling triggering the birth of new mountains. The third step is the transform dance, where two plates slide past one another. The most famous example is the San Andreas Fault in California. Here, the Pacific Plate is sliding horizontally past the North American Plate. This movement is not typically associated with volcanoes, as it does not create or destroy crust. Instead, it is characterized by a slow, steady buildup of pressure that is eventually released in earthquakes. Yet even this step is part of the larger balance system, allowing the plates to move smoothly alongside one another without hindering the broader dance. This great, slow dance is the ultimate expression of planetary recycling. Oceanic crust, which is created at divergent boundaries, is eventually consumed at convergent boundaries. The entire floor of the Pacific Ocean is being slowly subducted, its rock being melted and returned to the mantle, only to be born again millions of years later at a mid-ocean ridge. It is a cycle of renewal that has continued for billions of years, ensuring that the surface of the Earth is constantly, gently being refreshed. So, as you lie in the quiet of the night, consider this. The ground you believe to be so solid is part of a slow, graceful, and eternal motion. The continents are adrift on a sea of stone, moving with a patience that dwarfs all human concepts of time. The earthquakes and volcanoes we sometimes fear are merely the gentle releases of pressure in this vast planetary system, the soft clicks in the great clockwork of the Earth. There is a profound tranquility in this perspective. We are passengers on a world that is alive and moving, breathing and recycling. The slow dance of the tectonic plates is the heartbeat of the planet, a steady, rhythmic pulse that has been beating for 4 billion years and will continue for billions more. Let the unimaginable slowness of this dance calm your mind. Let its steady, predictable rhythm soothe your spirit. You are not living on a static rock, but on a living, breathing world engaged in a beautiful, slow-motion ballet. And in that knowledge you can find a deep and abiding peace. Rest now, cradled by this gentle, eternal movement. We have explored the visible creations of volcanoes, the mountains, the islands, the lava flows. But now let us attune our senses to something far more subtle, a presence that is felt rather than seen. Let us listen, not with our ears, but with our imagination, to the deep, resonant sound of the Earth itself. Beneath the silence we perceive, our planet is not quiet. It is alive with a low, persistent vibration, a hum that is the very signature of its dynamic life. This is the sound of a living world, and it is one of the most soothing rhythms you can imagine. This hum is not a sound that travels through the air, like a bird's song or the wind. It is a seismic murmur, a vibration that travels through the solid body of the planet. If you could somehow place your hand directly on the bedrock, free from all the noise of civilization and life, you might feel it as a faint, constant thrumming. It is the planet's baseline energy, a quiet proof that the great geological engine we have been discussing is always, ceaselessly at work. It is the background music to the dance of the tectonic plates. Scientists who listen to the Earth using incredibly sensitive instruments called seismometers hear this hum constantly. It is a low-frequency sound far below the range of human hearing, a deep bass note that resonates through the globe. They believe it is generated by several gentle, continuous processes. One is the slow, grinding movement of the tectonic plates themselves, the friction of continents drifting past one another, the subduction of ocean floors, the stretching of rift valleys. This movement is not silent. It releases energy as a constant, low-level tremor. Another source is the endless percussion of the ocean waves. As vast, powerful waves crash against coastlines all around the world, their immense energy is transferred into the ground, sending a pulse through the continental shelves that joins the global symphony. Even the pressure of the atmosphere and the gentle sway of ocean currents contribute to this pervasive vibration. This hum is the Earth's way of communicating its state of being. It is not a language of words, but of energy. During periods of heightened geological activity, the hum can change in character, its amplitude shifting like a singer taking a deeper breath. But for the most part, it is remarkably steady. It is the planet's vital sign, a steady rhythmic pulse that says, "I am alive, I am active, I am turning." It is the sound of the mantle convecting, of rocks under immense pressure slowly flowing, of the entire planet adjusting and balancing itself in the cold vacuum of space. For volcanoes, this hum is especially significant. A volcano is not a solitary, isolated mountain. It is deeply connected to this vibrating web. The magma chambers that feed volcanoes are not silent, stagnant caverns. They are dynamic, resonating spaces. As magma moves, as gases bubble and separate, as the pressure from below builds and releases, it creates its own unique set of vibrations within the larger hum of the Earth. Seismologists can listen to a volcano. They can hear the low rumbles that signify the movement of magma deep underground, the high-frequency tremors that indicate fracturing rock, and the steady harmonic tremor that often precedes an eruption. It is a complex, beautiful, and predictable pattern. It is the volcano's own breath, its own heartbeat, woven into the fabric of the planet's great hum. There is a profound comfort in this. The same forces that build mountains and power eruptions also produce this gentle, persistent vibration. The power is not absent in times of quiet. It is merely expressed differently. It is transformed from a visible, fiery spectacle into an invisible, resonant tone. The Earth is always speaking to us in this deep, quiet voice. We need only learn how to listen, so as you lie in the stillness of the night, I want you to imagine this. Imagine that you can feel this deep, resonant hum emanating from the very center of the Earth. Feel it as a gentle vibration rising up through the ground, through the foundations of your building, through your bed, and into your body. It is not a jarring or alarming sensation. It is a soothing, stable frequency. It is the planet rocking you as a parent might rock a cradle with a slow, steady, and utterly reliable motion. Let this deep hum become your lullaby. Let it drown out the noisy chatter of the day. This is the true sound of your home, a sound that has been playing for over 4 billion years. It is the sound of stability, of immense power held in perfect, patient check. You are not lying on a cold, dead rock. You are resting on a living, breathing, singing planet. Its song is a deep, resonant hum of continuity and peace. Allow that vibration to sync with your own heartbeat, to slow your breath, and to guide you into a sleep that is as deep and peaceful as the Earth's own timeless rhythm. Rest now to the sound of the world's oldest and most comforting song. In our journey through the peaceful world of volcanoes, we have listened to the deep hum of the Earth and witnessed the slow dance of continents. Now let us focus on a more intimate and gentle phenomenon, a phenomenon that represents the volcano not in its powerful, eruptive youth, but in its mature, contemplative age. Let us turn our attention to the constant, quiet breath of fumaroles. These are not the dramatic vents of lava, but the subtle, steaming sighs of a mountain, a visible whisper of the Earth's enduring warmth. Imagine walking on the flank of a dormant volcano. The air is cool and crisp. The landscape is one of quiet rock and hardy alpine plants. And then you see it. A gentle plume of white vapor rising from a crack in the ground, or a collection of colorful, mineral-stained rocks from which steam steadily escapes. This is a fumarole. It is a vent, a pore in the Earth's skin from which volcanic gases and steam escape into the atmosphere. There is no violence here, no explosion, only a persistent, peaceful exhalation that has continued in some places for thousands of years. The breath of a fumarole is composed mostly of water vapor, heated to steam by the immense geothermal energy that still resides deep within the volcanoes. Mixed in are other gases, primarily carbon dioxide and smaller amounts of hydrogen sulfide, which gives some fumaroles their faint, familiar scent of rotten eggs. This is not a sign of decay, but a sign of life, the life of the planet's internal chemistry. As surface water from rain or snow melt seeps deep into the ground, it is warmed by the hot rocks near a cooling magma chamber. This heated water then rises back to the surface, escaping through these natural vents, carrying with it the story of the heat below. What is most mesmerizing about fumaroles is their persistence. They are the long, slow exhale of a volcano that has finished its main eruptive phase. The great, fiery breath of lava has passed, and what remains is this gentle, steaming sigh. It is a testament to the incredible retention of the Earth's heat. A magma chamber can take tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of years to cool completely. All that while the fumaroles above it will continue to breathe, a constant and reliable signal of the warm heart that still beats deep within the mountain. They are the volcano's way of telling us that its work is not yet fully complete, that it is merely resting, its energy now expressed as a quiet, thermal whisper. In some special places, this gentle breath creates breathtaking beauty. The minerals dissolved in the steaming gases, sulfur, chlorides, iron oxides, are deposited around the vents as the water evaporates. Over centuries, they paint the rocks in a stunning, otherworldly palette. You can see brilliant canary yellow crystals of sulfur, blood-red streaks of iron, and ghostly white deposits of silica and alum. These are not the loud colors of flowing lava, but the soft, pastel hues of a patient artist, slowly creating a masterpiece over an immense span of time. Walking among such fumarolic fields is like walking through a natural art gallery where the earth itself is the painter and time is its brush. There is a profound lesson in the constancy of the fumarole. While we are drawn to the dramatic and the sudden, the fumarole teaches us the power of the steady and the continuous. Its presence is a quiet reassurance. It means the Earth's internal fire is still there, banked and controlled, providing a steady, gentle warmth. It is a reminder that power does not always have to be explosive to be profound. Sometimes the most enduring force is a quiet, persistent presence. So as you prepare for sleep tonight, let your mind drift to the image of a quiet mountainside, wreathed in the soft, gentle plumes of steam from a fumarole field. Imagine the slow, steady rise of that vapor into a calm, starlit sky. There is no rush, no urgency, only a constant, quiet breath that has been flowing for millennia and will continue for millennia more. Let your own breathing begin to match this rhythm. A slow, steady inhale and a long, relaxed exhale like the steam rising from the earth. With each breath out, release the tensions of the day. Feel yourself connected to this ancient, peaceful cycle. The earth breathes its warm, mineral-scented breath, and you breathe with it. You are sharing in this quiet, constant rhythm of release and relaxation. Allow the image of the ever-breathing fumarole to lull you into a state of deep tranquility. Its persistence is a promise of stability. Its gentle sigh is a sound of ultimate peace. Rest now and breathe with the planet. We have witnessed the fire and felt the breath of volcanoes. We have seen them build and heard them hum. But now we turn to perhaps their most generous and transformative gift, one that emerges from what seems like utter devastation. It is a gift that feeds nations and clothes barren rock in vibrant green. Tonight, we explore the quiet, life-giving magic of volcanic ash. For what appears to be the finality of a grey winter is, in truth, the promise of an abundant spring. Imagine the moment of a great volcanic eruption. A plume of dark grey ash rises miles into the atmosphere, blotting out the sun. It settles over the landscape, a thick, silent blanket that smothers everything in its path. To any living thing caught within it, it is a catastrophe. It appears to be a symbol of pure destruction, a sterile, suffocating shroud. But this is merely the first act of a much longer, more beautiful story. This ash, this fine powdered rock, is not an end. It is a beginning. Volcanic ash is far more than just dust. It is the mantle of the earth, finely milled and delivered to the surface. It is composed of tiny, porous particles of volcanic glass and minerals, rich in elements that are essential for life, but often scarce on the surface. Elements like potassium, calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. These are the building blocks of cells, the catalysts for growth, the very nutrients that plants crave. When this ash settles and begins to mix with rainwater and organic matter, it does not form just any soil. It creates some of the most fertile, productive soil on our entire planet. The process of transformation is a slow, gentle alchemy. After the ashfall, the rains come. Water percolates through the porous ash layer, beginning the slow process of weathering, breaking down the tiny glassy particles and releasing their locked-away mineral treasures. This can take years or even decades, but this slow release is the key to its longevity. Unlike commercial fertilizers that offer a quick, fleeting burst of nutrients, volcanic ash acts as a long-term nutrient reservoir. It continuously and gently feeds the soil for centuries, creating a foundation of fertility that can last for thousands of years. Now, let your mind travel to some of the most lush and vibrant agricultural regions on Earth. The terraced rice paddies of Java, in Indonesia, emerald green and staggeringly productive, grow from the ash of countless eruptions. The vineyards of Sicily, nestled on the slopes of Mount Etna, produce uniquely flavored grapes from the mineral-rich soil. The coffee plantations of Guatemala, the fruit orchards of Washington State, the vast wheat fields of the Pacific Northwest, all are cultivated on land born from volcanic ash. These are not just random fertile spots. They are the direct beneficiaries of the planet's deep geological generosity. The volcano gives, and life gratefully receives. But the gifts of ash are not only chemical, they are also physical. The fine particulate nature of volcanic ash creates a soil that is wonderfully aerated and has an exceptional ability to retain water. It forms a loose, crumbly structure that allows plant roots to penetrate deeply and breathe easily, while also holding on to moisture like a sponge, protecting plants from drought. It is, in every sense, the perfect cradle for life. From this seemingly barren dust springs an explosion of biodiversity, a testament to life's incredible resilience and its ability to seize upon opportunity. There is a profound, hopeful metaphor in this entire process. The volcanic eruption, in all its apparent fury, is ultimately an act of renewal. It clears the old, tired landscape and covers it with a fresh, nutrient-dense canvas. It is the planet's way of pressing the reset button, of offering a new beginning. The ash is the agent of this renewal, the physical manifestation of the Earth's promise that after every ending, a richer, more vibrant beginning is possible. So, as you rest tonight, let go of any notion of volcanic ash as a symbol of death and sterility. See it instead as a soft, grey blanket of potential. Imagine it settling gently over the land, not as an end, but as a quiet, patient promise of the forests and fields that are yet to come. It is the earth tucking its children in, providing them with the nourishment they need to wake up stronger and more vibrant than before. Let this thought bring a deep sense of peace and optimism to your heart. Just as the most fertile gardens grow from the ashes of the volcano, new growth and new beginnings are always possible in your own life. There is a creative, life-giving force at work in the world that can transform even the most challenging events into foundations for future abundance. Breathe deeply and sleep soundly, cradled by this knowledge. You are part of a world that is constantly, gently, and generously renewing itself. Rest now upon the life-giving soil of a planet that always provides. Throughout our journey, we have witnessed the immense, patient power of volcanoes, a power that shapes continents and builds new life. But this power is not a distant, abstract force, relevant only in moments of dramatic eruption. It is a constant, gentle presence that we can and do live with every day. It is a warmth offered to us directly from the heart of the earth. Tonight, let us explore this most intimate of gifts, the steady, reliable warmth beneath our feet, known as geothermal energy. Imagine the Earth's interior not as a place of terrifying, chaotic fire, but as a vast, well-insulated thermal reservoir. Since the planet's formation over 4 billion years ago, it has retained a portion of that original primordial heat. Combined with the continuous heat generated by the slow decay of radioactive elements deep within the rock, this creates a stable and immense source of thermal energy. This is the planet's own internal furnace, burning slowly and steadily, a testament to the enduring warmth of our world. It is a bank of heat that will not be depleted for billions of years to come. This deep, inner warmth naturally conducts itself towards the cooler surface. In most places, this heat flow is so slight as to be imperceptible, increasing by just a few degrees for every 100 meters we descend. But in regions blessed with volcanic activity, near the boundaries of tectonic plates or above hotspots, this heat is concentrated. Here, the Earth's crust is thinner or fractured, allowing the heat from the mantle to rise much closer to the surface. It heats vast underground aquifers, turning water into steam or creating pools of scalding hot water. It is this concentrated gift that we know as geothermal energy. The most visible and serene manifestations of this energy are the hot springs and geysers that dot volcanic landscapes. Picture a natural hot spring like those in Iceland or Japan. Steam rises gently from a pool of turquoise water nestled in a bowl of rock. The water is heated not by the sun, but by the earth itself. For centuries, humans have sought out these springs for their restorative warmth, bathing in water that has been naturally heated by the deep, patient energy of the planet. It is a direct, physical connection to the Earth's heart, a place where we can literally immerse ourselves in its gentle power. A geyser, like Old Faithful, is a more dynamic expression, a natural pressure cooker that periodically releases a column of steam and hot water into the air in a predictable, rhythmic display. It is the Earth letting off a little steam, a quiet and reliable release of its inner energy. But our relationship with this subterranean warmth is not passive. In a beautiful partnership with the planet, we have learned to harness this energy in a profoundly peaceful way. Geothermal power plants do not burn any fuel. They do not require vast mines or towering smokestacks. Instead, they are like gentle straws tapping into the Earth's natural hydrothermal systems. They drill deep wells into hot aquifers, bringing steam or hot water to the surface. This steam spins turbines to generate electricity, and the used water, now cooled, is almost always re-injected back into the ground to be reheated. It is a closed loop, a sustainable cycle that works in harmony with the Earth's own rhythms. It is a way of borrowing the planet's warmth to power our lives and then returning it, unchanged. For individual homes and buildings in geothermal areas, the Earth's constant temperature becomes a natural climate controller. Just a few meters below the surface, the ground remains at a stable, mild temperature year-round, unaffected by the summer's heat or the winter's frost. Geothermal heat pumps use this stability, circulating fluid through underground pipes to warm buildings in the winter and cool them in the summer. It is an elegant, silent, and incredibly efficient system. It is the Earth itself acting as a thermal battery, helping to maintain our comfort without strain or pollution. There is a deep, abiding comfort in this relationship. The energy we are using is not from a finite tank we are rapidly emptying. It is from a steady planetary flow. It is the same energy that drives the tectonic plates and fuels the volcanoes, but we are intercepting just a tiny, sustainable fraction of it for our own peaceful use. It is a reminder that we can live in harmony with the powerful forces of our planet, drawing sustenance from them without provoking a violent response. So, as you lie in the quiet of the night, bring your awareness to the space beneath you. Below your home, below the foundation, below the soil and the bedrock, there is a warmth, a deep, persistent, and generous warmth that has been there for aeons and will remain for aeons to come. It is a warmth that heats water for soothing baths, that generates light for our cities, and that can quietly maintain the comfort of a home. Let this knowledge settle over you like a warm blanket. You are not separate from the earth's power. You are living upon it, sustained by it. The same gentle force that builds islands and enriches soil also offers you this direct, nurturing warmth. It is a constant, silent offering from the planet to you. Feel that connection. Feel the steady, reliable warmth beneath your feet, and allow it to fill you with a sense of security and peace. You are being supported, warmed, and sustained by the very world you call home. Rest deeply in that embrace. In our journey, we have met volcanoes in their active states, building, breathing, and warming our world. But now, let us turn our attention to a different, more serene phase of their existence. A phase not of action, but of profound rest. This is the state of the dormant volcano. The word dormant itself comes from the Latin word for sleeping, and this is precisely what they are doing. They are not dead, nor are they threatening. They are in a deep, protective slumber, and there is a profound peace and safety in their rest. Imagine a majestic, snow-capped mountain like Mount Fuji in Japan or Mount Rainier in Washington. Its slopes are forested, its valleys are home to towns and villages. It appears as a permanent, stable, and benevolent part of the landscape. This is the face of a dormant volcano. It is a giant that has built its peak through past eruptions and has now entered a long period of quiescence. Its internal fires are not extinguished. They are merely banked. The magma chamber below has cooled, its energy dissipating slowly, like the coals of a great fire settling into a warm, enduring glow. This slumber is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary and wise phase of conservation and stability. The dormancy of a volcano is a gift to the world. It is during these long, quiet periods that life can truly take root and flourish. The violent and creative phase of the volcano has provided the fertile soil, and now its stillness allows that fertility to be fully realized. Forests cloak its flanks, rivers carved by millennia of rain flow from its peaks, and animals find shelter in its quiet woods. Human civilizations, recognizing the rich soil and strategic vantage point, often build their communities on the slopes of these sleeping giants. They do this not out of folly, but out of a deep, intuitive understanding that the mountain is in a state of rest, and its period of activity is measured in centuries or millennia, not in years. The slumber of the volcano provides a stable foundation for life to thrive. This state of rest is also a period of quiet preparation. A dormant volcano is not completely silent. It still communicates in subtle ways. Fumaroles may still whisper their steamy breath, a reminder of the warmth within. Minor earthquakes, too small to be felt by humans, may occasionally ruffle the deep rock as the mountain adjusts itself in its sleep. Hot springs may continue to flow, offering their mineral-rich waters. These are not signs of impending doom, but rather the gentle snores of a slumbering giant, the natural, harmless sounds of a vast, living system at rest. Scientists listen to these gentle signals, not with alarm, but with a sense of stewardship, understanding the mountain's rhythms and ensuring the safety of those who live in its shadow. There is a deep, metaphorical comfort in the dormant volcano. It teaches us the wisdom of cycles. Just as the volcano has its active phases and its resting phases, so too do our own lives require periods of dynamic action and periods of deep, restorative rest. The volcano does not fight its need for slumber. It embraces it. It conserves its energy, gathers its strength, and allows the world to benefit from its stability. Its rest is not idleness. It is a vital part of its long, majestic life. Furthermore, the protective nature of its slumber is profound. By being dormant, the volcano shields the life it has helped create. It allows ecosystems to mature, soils to deepen, and cultures to develop over generations, all under the watchful, silent presence of the mountain. It is a guardian in repose, its very stillness providing a sanctuary. The towns on its slopes are not living in the shadow of a threat, but in the shelter of a protector who is currently at rest. So, as you prepare for your own rest tonight, let your mind dwell on the image of a dormant volcano. See its majestic, silent profile against a starlit sky. Feel the deep, ancient peace that emanates from its slumbering form. It is a testament to the fact that even the most powerful forces in nature require and benefit from periods of profound quiet. Its rest is a gift to the landscape and a lesson in patience and cyclical wisdom. Allow the feeling of this protective slumber to wash over you. Just as the mountain rests, so too can you. There is no need for vigilance, no cause for alarm. The world is watched over by ancient, sleeping giants whose rest brings stability and peace. You are safe. You can let go of your own wakefulness and surrender to the deep, healing quiet of the night. Close your eyes and imagine yourself resting on the gentle slope of a dormant volcano, cradled by its immense, silent strength. Feel its deep, steady presence assuring you that all is well. And in that assurance, allow yourself to drift into a slumber as deep and peaceful as that of the mountain itself. Rest now in the protective quiet of the sleeping earth. We have walked on the new land they create, felt the warmth they provide, and learned from their deep slumber. But now, let us look even closer into the very heart of the rock itself to discover one of the most beautiful and patient processes of all. Hidden within the rough, dark basalt and the porous grey pumice are tiny marvels of geometry and light, volcanic crystals. Their story is not one of fire and force, but of incredible stillness and patience, a slow-motion ballet of atoms deep within the Earth's dark womb. To understand this, we must journey to a place no human eye has ever seen, the magma chamber. This is not a lake of fire, as it is often imagined, but a vast subterranean reservoir of complex molten soup. It is a mixture of liquid rock, dissolved gases, and a rich chemistry of elements. And within this hot, dark chaos, the first whispers of order begin to appear. As the magma sits trapped for thousands of years, it begins to cool. But it does not cool all at once. The drop in temperature is infinitesimally slow, a change of mere degrees over centuries. And in this slow cooling lies the secret to the crystal. Imagine a single atom suspended in the molten rock. As the energy of the heat gradually diminishes, the bonds between atoms begin to strengthen. They are no longer bouncing freely in the liquid chaos. They are drawn to one another, finding a more stable, more ordered arrangement. They begin to cluster, forming a tiny microscopic seed. This seed is the birthplace of a crystal. It is a perfect, ordered lattice, a repeating pattern that is unique to the chemical elements from which it is made. Once this seed exists, the real magic of patience begins. The crystal grows, not by adding chunks of rock, but by attracting individual atoms and molecules from the surrounding magma to its surface. One by one, they are incorporated into the expanding lattice. The crystal builds itself layer upon atomic layer in a perfect geometric pattern. The slower the magma cools, the more time the atoms have to arrange themselves into a large, well-formed and perfect crystal. A magma that cools in a matter of days or weeks, like in a thin lava flow, will have only microscopic crystals too small to see. But a magma that cools over thousands of years deep underground will grow crystals the size of your thumb or even your fist. The size of the crystal is a direct measure of the patience of its formation. This is why when a volcano erupts, it can sometimes bring forth these hidden treasures. The solid rock we see, like granite, is often a mosaic of interlocking crystals, sparkling quartz, pink or white feldspar, glittering mica. This rock, known as intrusive igneous rock, is quite literally a gallery of these patiently grown crystals, a snapshot of the slow, ordered beauty that existed in the dark before the rock ever saw the light of day. Even the dark, fine-grained basalt of a lava flow, if you look closely, may reveal tiny, perfect crystals of olivine, like minuscule green gems scattered within, evidence of a slightly slower cooling phase before the final eruption. There is a profound, almost spiritual lesson in this process. In the heart of what seems like chaos, a seething, hot, molten mass, a perfect order is being born. It is not born through violence or speed, but through the opposite, through profound stillness, immense patience, and the slow, gentle withdrawal of energy. The most beautiful and durable structures are not forged in the fire, but in the quiet, persistent cooling that comes after. The crystal is a testament to the power of slow, deliberate growth. So, as you lie in the quiet darkness, let your mind contemplate this patient formation. Imagine the deep, silent magma chamber, a place of immense pressure and heat, yet also a place of incredible, slow-motion creativity. Picture the atoms dancing in the liquid rock, slowly, gently, finding their place in a growing geometric lattice. There is no rush. There is no deadline. Only the steady, unhurried work of building something perfect, one atom at a time. Let this image soothe your restless thoughts. In a world that often values speed and immediacy, the volcanic crystal reminds us of the profound beauty and strength that can only be achieved through slowness and patience. Your own growth, your own healing, your own understanding, these are not processes that can be rushed. They require the same quiet, dark, patient conditions as the forming crystal. Allow the patient rhythm of crystal formation to slow your breathing and calm your heart. You too are a work in progress being formed in your own time, in your own perfect way. There is no need to force it. Simply rest and trust in the slow, beautiful, and inevitable process of becoming. Sleep now and dream of the hidden crystals growing in the deep, dark heart of the world and in the deep, quiet heart of you. We have marveled at the patient formation of crystals, a process born from order and slowness. But to fully appreciate that miracle, we must first understand the cradle where it occurs. We must venture into the most hidden, the most immense, and the most fundamentally powerful spaces within the earth, the vast chambers of molten rock. These are not the stuff of myth or fantasy, but real physical reservoirs that hold the liquid heart of our planet. And while the word magma may conjure images of fury, the true nature of these chambers is one of immense, patient, and silent power. Imagine, if you will, a space deep beneath a mountain. Not a cave, for caves are empty voids. This is a space that is full, a space that is alive. It is a chamber, sometimes spanning miles in width, filled not with air, but with a slow-moving, incandescent fluid. This is the magma chamber. Its walls are not cold stone, but the hot, solid rock of the Earth's crust, containing the immense pressure within. The substance inside is magma, a complex viscous soup of liquid rock, dissolved gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide, and suspended crystals, all held in a state of dynamic suspension. It is the raw, unformed potential of the planet, the source from which all volcanic landscapes are born. The journey of the rock to become this magma is a slow and profound one. It begins deep in the mantle, where solid rock, under conditions of immense heat and pressure, can actually behave like a plastic, slowly flowing over millions of years. In specific places, like under the thin crust at mid-ocean ridges or above subducting plates, this rock undergoes decompression or is mixed with water, which lowers its melting point. It transitions from a solid state to a liquid one, becoming magma. This newly formed liquid, being less dense than the surrounding rock, begins a slow, inexorable ascent. It does not rush. It percolates upwards, following fractures and weaknesses over centuries until it pools in a chamber closer to the surface. This gathering is a monumental act of accumulation, a quiet filling of a subterranean lake with the essence of the Earth's interior. Life within the magma chamber is a study in slow churning dynamics. It is not a homogeneous boiling pot. It is a place of layers and differentiations. As the magma sits insulated by thousands of feet of rock, it begins to cool. Different minerals, with different melting points, begin to crystallize out at different times, changing the chemistry of the remaining liquid. Heavier crystals may sink, forming dense layers at the bottom of the chamber. Lighter elements may rise, gases may exsolve, forming bubbles that gather towards the top. This process, called fractional crystallization, is the reason for the incredible diversity of volcanic rocks we find on the surface. The chamber is a great natural chemical refinery, silently and patiently sorting the elements of the Earth. The pressure within this chamber is astronomical, held in a perfect, tense equilibrium by the incredible weight of the rock above it. The chamber exists in a state of peaceful yet powerful balance. It is only when this equilibrium is disrupted by the injection of new, hot magma from below or by the fracturing of the rock above due to tectonic stresses that the chamber expresses its power at the surface. The eruption is not a random explosion, but the controlled physical response to a change in this deep, subterranean balance. It is the chamber finding a new equilibrium, a process that, while dramatic on the surface, is a natural and integral part of its long-term life. There is a profound sense of security in contemplating these hidden reservoirs. They are not ticking time bombs, but stable, long-lived features of our planet. Some magma chambers may exist for hundreds of thousands of years, slowly crystallizing, occasionally being recharged from below, in a slow, rhythmic cycle that is the very heartbeat of the planet. They are the thermal engines of the Earth, the source of the geothermal energy we harness, and the creators of the continents upon which we live. So, as you rest tonight, let your mind sink downwards, through the soil, through the bedrock, and into the deep, dark quiet. Imagine the vast chambers that lie below, glowing with a soft, immense heat. Feel their stability, their immense contained power. They are not a threat, but the foundation of the world. The ground you lie upon is the roof of these great subterranean cathedrals. Let the knowledge of this deep, enduring stability calm your spirit. The same patient, powerful forces that shape continents are holding you up at this very moment. There is a strength beneath you that is beyond human comprehension, a silent, warm, and ancient presence. Allow yourself to feel cradled by this deep reality. Surrender your weight to it, and let the immense, quiet power of the Earth's hidden chambers lull you into a sleep that is as deep, as peaceful, and as secure as the planet itself. Rest now in the knowledge of the vast, silent strength below. In our journey, we have felt the Earth's inner warmth and witnessed its creative power. We have seen how it builds and enriches. But the planet's systems are intricate, balanced with a wisdom that transcends our short human timelines. For every action, there is a reaction of profound gentleness and equilibrium. Tonight, we explore one of the most beautiful examples of this balance, a phenomenon that sounds like a paradox, a winter born from fire. We will discover how a volcano's greatest exhalation can weave a protective, cooling blanket around the entire world, a process known as a volcanic winter. Imagine a volcano in a state of colossal yet serene eruption. We are not speaking of the gentle lava flows that build land, but of a more explosive event where the volcano releases the immense pressure of its dissolved gases. It sends a plume of ash and gas not just into the sky, but high into the stratosphere, miles above the weather, above the clouds, into a realm of thin, cold air and constant winds. This is a pivotal moment, for it is here, in this stable global highway, that the volcano's work as a planetary thermostat becomes most evident. The key agent in this process is not the ash, which falls out within days or weeks, but a gas, sulfur dioxide. In the intense heat of the eruption, this gas is injected directly into the stratosphere. There, high above the rain clouds that would normally wash it away, it undergoes a quiet transformation. It combines with water vapor to form countless tiny droplets of sulfuric acid. These droplets are incredibly small and light, so light that they do not fall. Instead, they spread out, caught by the high-altitude jet streams, until they form a fine, shimmering aerosol veil that can eventually encircle the entire globe. This veil is invisible to our eyes from the ground, but from space it appears as a faint, pearlescent sheen in the upper atmosphere. This aerosol veil, this blanket woven from the breath of the volcano, now performs its gentle, global work. The particles are highly reflective. When sunlight traveling towards the Earth encounters this layer, a small but significant portion of the solar energy is not allowed to pass. It is scattered and reflected back into the blackness of space. Less of the sun's heat reaches the surface of the planet. It is as if the Earth, feeling a little too warm, has drawn a thin, translucent curtain across its bedroom window. The effect is not an immediate deep freeze, but a gradual, gentle cooling. The planet's fever breaks and a period of global coolness descends, typically lasting for 2 or 3 years. This is the volcanic winter. It is not a winter of blizzards and ice, but a winter of muted summers, cooler temperatures, and spectacular, fiery sunsets. The aerosols scatter the blue light, allowing the red and orange wavelengths to dominate, painting the sky at dawn and dusk with colors of breathtaking intensity. It is the volcano's final beautiful gift to the sky, a daily reminder of the global process underway. For the life on the surface, it is a period of adjustment. Growing seasons may shorten, weather patterns may shift, but this is part of the Earth's long-term rhythm, a natural correction in a system that is always seeking balance. There is a deep, humbling peace in this process. The volcanic winter demonstrates that the Earth possesses its own built-in climate control. After a period of intense internal heat release, the planet has a mechanism to cool itself down. It is a self-regulating system of breathtaking elegance and simplicity. The same event that can build a new island or cover a continent in fertile ash can also simultaneously cast a gentle, cooling shade over the entire world. It is a reminder that the planet's systems are interconnected in ways we are only beginning to understand, and that they operate on a scale that dwarfs human concerns. This phenomenon is not a destructive force, but a protective one. In the grand timeline of Earth's history, these periodic coolings have likely played a role in regulating the climate over millions of years, preventing runaway greenhouse effects and maintaining the conditions suitable for life. The volcanic winter is the planet's way of taking a deep, cooling breath after a fiery exhale, restoring its own equilibrium with quiet, impersonal precision. So as you lie in the stillness, let this thought comfort you. Our world is not a fragile, passive orb. It is a dynamic, intelligent, and self-regulating being. It has weathered countless such events, each time finding its way back to balance. The same forces that warm you from below can also cool you from above in a perfect planetary dance. Imagine now this delicate, shimmering veil high above you. It is not a threat, but a shield, a blanket of tranquility woven from the heart of a mountain. It is the Earth caring for itself and, in doing so, caring for all the life upon it. Feel the gentle, global coolness it brings, a soothing balm after a fever. Let this feeling of being protected, of being part of a system that knows how to heal itself, wash over you. Allow the image of this insulating blanket to soothe you into a deep and restful sleep. You are living on a world that knows how to find its peace. Rest now, under the gentle, cooling blanket of the volcanic winter, secure in the knowledge that you are cradled by a planet of profound balance and serene wisdom. We have explored the inner workings of volcanoes, from their deep chambers to their global effects. But now, let us engage our senses in a different way. Let us listen, not to the deep hum of the earth, but to the surface sounds of an eruption itself. We will discover that even this, the most dynamic expression of volcanic power, can transform at a distance into a natural lullaby, a rhythm that speaks not of danger, but of the planet's vibrant, living pulse. Imagine yourself in a place of perfect safety. Perhaps you are in a cozy cabin nestled in a forest many miles from an active volcano. Or maybe you are on a ship, far out at sea with a volcanic island on the distant horizon. The night is clear and calm. Then you begin to hear it. It is not a loud, terrifying roar, but a low, rhythmic, percussive sound. A deep, resonant thump, followed by another and another. This is the sound of a volcanic eruption heard from a safe and comfortable distance. It is the mountain's heartbeat, a steady, booming drum that echoes across the water or rolls softly through the valleys. This sound is the voice of the volcano, and it has many tones. It begins with the deep, subterranean rumble of rising magma, a frequency so low it is often felt more than heard. Then comes the explosive release at the vent, a sharp concussion that sends shock waves through the air. As these sound waves travel over many miles, they change. The highest, sharpest frequencies are the first to be lost, absorbed by the air, the trees, and the landscape. What finally reaches your ears are the lowest, deepest bass notes. They have been smoothed and rounded by their long journey, their sharp edges worn away. The chaotic noise of the source has been refined by distance into a regular, predictable rhythm. It is nature's own sound engineering, transforming chaos into a soothing, repetitive pattern. Now add to this sound the visual spectacle seen from afar. With each deep thump, you see a faint orange flash illuminate the underside of the eruption cloud. It is not a terrifying blaze, but a soft, pulsing glow, like a distant heartbeat of light against the dark silhouette of the mountain. Sometimes you might see a graceful arc of incandescent rock, a lava bomb tracing a slow, parabolic curve against the starry sky before landing with a quiet, unseen impact. From a distance, it is a firework display in slow motion, a silent, beautiful dance choreographed by gravity and fire. The combination of the deep, rhythmic sound and the gentle, pulsing light creates a multisensory experience that is profoundly mesmerizing and strangely calming. This phenomenon touches something ancient within us. For our ancestors, the sight and sound of a distant volcano would have been a constant, a part of the natural world that was both powerful and predictable. Its rhythmic explosions would have been the backdrop to their lives, a reminder of the world's power, but also a sign of its stability. The volcano was always there, always breathing, always beating. To hear its rhythm from a safe distance was to know one's place in the world, to feel small, yes, but also to feel secure in the presence of a timeless natural force. It was a lullaby that said, "The world is alive, and its rhythms are eternal." In our modern world, we have replaced these natural rhythms with the unpredictable and often jarring noises of civilization, sirens, traffic, and the ping of notifications. The sound of a distant eruption is the antithesis of this. It is a slow, predictable, and non-threatening rhythm. It is a sound you cannot control and do not need to respond to. Your only task is to listen, to observe, and to let its steady pulse slow your own heart rate and calm your nervous system. It is a sound that commands a passive, peaceful reception. So tonight, as you lie in the quiet darkness of your room, I want you to imagine this scene. Close your eyes and picture a distant sleeping mountain. Then hear the soft, deep thump of its heartbeat. Feel the vibration not as a threat, but as a soothing bass note that travels through the earth and air to reach you. See the corresponding pulse of light, a soft orange flare against your closed eyelids. There is no need to go to it. There is no need to understand it. Simply let its rhythm wash over you. Allow this distant volcanic lullaby to become the soundtrack to your sleep. Let each deep, resonant boom guide you deeper into relaxation. With every pulse, release a worry. With every soft flash of light, let go of a thought. The mountain is speaking its ancient, peaceful language, and you are safe to listen and to rest. Be carried away on the slow, rhythmic waves of sound far from the concerns of the day, and into a sleep that is as deep and peaceful as the night itself. Rest now to the gentle, powerful lullaby of the earth. As we have journeyed together, we have discovered the peaceful, creative, and sustaining nature of volcanoes here on our own world. But the story of volcanic fire is not a story unique to Earth. It is a cosmic story, a fundamental process written into the very laws of planetary formation. Tonight, let us lift our gaze from the green hills and blue oceans of our home and look out into the solar system, to our sibling worlds. There, in the profound silence of space, we find that volcanoes are not just a feature of Earth, but a signature of a planet's life and history. This is our cosmic connection. Imagine for a moment the early solar system, a vast disk of dust and gas swirling around a newborn star. Within this disk, particles collide and stick together, forming pebbles, then rocks, then planetesimals. These collisions release immense energy, a form of construction through violence. As these young planets grow, their interiors are heated by this relentless bombardment, by the compression of gravity, and by the decay of radioactive elements. This heat is the common inheritance of every sizable world. It is the fire that must, one way or another, find a way to escape. And for many worlds, the primary outlet for this inner fire is volcanism. Let us travel first to our closest celestial neighbor, the Moon. Its surface, when seen up close, is a tapestry of vast, dark plains. For centuries, astronomers called these features Maria, the Latin word for seas. We now know they are not seas of water, but seas of frozen lava. Billions of years ago, the Moon was volcanically active. Giant impacts fractured its crust, allowing basaltic lava to well up and flood the giant basins, creating those smooth, dark plains that we see today. The Moon's volcanoes are now silent, their fires long since extinguished. But they stand as a monument to a time when our own companion world had a warm, active heart. To look at the full moon is to see the ghost of ancient volcanoes, a reminder that even our silent companion was once alive with geological fire. Now, let us journey further to the red planet Mars. Here, we find volcanoes on a scale that dwarfs anything on Earth. Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in our solar system, is not so much a mountain as a geological continent. It stands nearly 22 kilometers high and is so wide that its base would cover the entire state of Arizona. Its size is a clue to Mars's past. Unlike Earth, Mars lacks moving tectonic plates. This meant that a volcanic hotspot could remain fixed in one location for billions of years, pouring lava upon lava, layer upon layer, building a mountain of almost unimaginable proportions. While Mars is cold and quiet today, Olympus Mons is a silent titan, a testament to a time when the red planet was warmed by a mighty, persistent internal fire. But the volcanic story does not end with rocky worlds like our own. We must venture to the outer solar system, to a realm of ice and strange mechanics. Here, we find a moon orbiting the giant planet Jupiter. Its name is Io, and Io is the most volcanically active body in our entire solar system. Its surface is a chaotic canvas of yellow, orange, and red, painted by constantly erupting volcanoes that spew sulfur and silicate lava. The heat for this incredible activity does not come from radioactive decay alone, but from gravitational friction. As Io is tugged and squeezed by the immense gravity of Jupiter and its sister moons, its interior is stretched and heated, much like a piece of metal that is bent back and forth until it becomes hot to the touch. This process, known as tidal heating, keeps Io in a constant state of eruption, a fiery jewel in Jupiter's crown. The existence of volcanoes across our solar system, from the ancient lava plains of the Moon, to the colossal peaks of Mars, to the hyperactive fury of Io, tells us a profound and humbling truth. The forces that built the ground beneath our feet are not unique to our world. They are universal. The same physics that heated the Earth and drove magma to its surface have operated on every other rocky body, and even on icy moons in unexpected ways. We are not separate from the cosmos. We are a living expression of its most fundamental processes. This cosmic perspective brings a deep and abiding peace. The same creative, fiery energy that built the islands of Hawaii and enriched the soils of Indonesia is also at work, or was once at work, on worlds millions of miles away. We are part of a grand cosmic family of volcanic worlds. Our planet's story is one chapter in a much larger narrative of planetary birth, life, and cooling. So, as you look up at the night sky, remember this connection. The same patient, powerful forces that warm you from below have shaped the faces of our celestial neighbors. Let this thought expand your sense of home. You are not just living on a planet. You are living in a solar system alive with geological wonder. Close your eyes and feel this cosmic connection. Feel the gentle, universal pulse of planetary heat and creativity that links our world to the Moon, to Mars, to Io, and beyond. You are resting on a world that is part of a vast, beautiful, and dynamic family. Let this immense, peaceful connection cradle you as you drift into sleep, a small, cherished part of a grand volcanic cosmos. Rest now under the watchful eyes of our volcanic siblings. We have journeyed across the solar system, finding volcanic kin on other worlds. Now let us return home and journey deeper than we ever have before, past the crust, past the magma chambers, to the very source of it all. We are going to the mantle, the vast, solid, yet flowing layer that makes up the majority of our planet's volume. Here, in the profound and eternal darkness, there is a glow. Not the fiery light of molten lava, but a deeper, more persistent radiance. This is the eternal glow of the Earth's mantle, the enduring warmth that has fueled our world for billions of years and will for billions more. Imagine descending through the Earth's crust. The last traces of sunlight vanish. The temperature rises steadily. You pass through the solid rock of the lithosphere, and then you cross a boundary. You have entered the mantle. This is not a realm of empty caves or lakes of fire. It is a world of solid rock, but rock under such immense conditions of heat and pressure that it behaves in ways we can scarcely comprehend. It is a solid that can flow over centuries and millennia in vast, slow-moving convection currents. This is the rock that makes up 84% of our planet's volume, and it glows with a deep internal energy. This eternal glow has two primary sources, both of them profoundly ancient and stable. The first is the primordial heat, the leftover energy from the planet's violent formation over 4.5 billion years ago. The colossal collisions that built the Earth generated immense thermal energy, a birthright of fire that has been slowly, steadily dissipating ever since. The second source is radiogenic heat. Deep within the mantle, atoms of radioactive elements like uranium, thorium, and potassium are slowly, inexorably decaying. With each atomic disintegration, they release a tiny amount of heat, Across the vast, immense volume of the mantle, trillions upon trillions of these tiny decays are happening every second, generating a continuous and reliable output of warmth. This is not a violent, explosive energy, but a gentle, persistent simmer that has been maintained for aeons. This internal glow is the engine of our living planet. It is this heat that drives the mantle's convection currents, the great, slow churning that moves the tectonic plates on the surface. It is this heat that melts rock to create magma, which feeds the volcanoes that build continents and enrich the soil. It is this heat that creates the magnetic field, that invisible shield that protects us from the solar wind. Every mountain range, every ocean basin, every volcanic island, and the very air we breathe has been shaped, directly or indirectly, by this deep inner radiance. The mantled glow is the heartbeat of the Earth itself. There is a profound stability in this process. The decay of radioactive elements is predictable and slow, measured in half-lives of millions or billions of years. This is not a fuel that can be suddenly exhausted. It provides a steady, unwavering output of energy that will continue, unabated, for time frames that dwarf human history. The Earth is not cooling rapidly. It is a brilliant keeper of its own warmth, a cosmic thermos of incredible efficiency. The mantle's glow is a constant. It was there before the first life formed, and it will be there long after we are gone. This changes our perception of the ground beneath our feet. We walk upon a thin, cool skin, a mere scum on the surface of a vast, warm and radiant interior. The familiar crust is just the rind on a fruit whose flesh is still warm from its creation. The stability we feel is not the stability of a cold, dead rock, but the stability of a massive, energetic system in a state of perfect, slow-motion balance. The Earth is not a tomb. It is a living engine glowing with ancient fire. So, as you lie in the quiet of the night, bring your awareness down through the floor, through the foundations, deep into the earth. Imagine the darkness of the mantle, a darkness that is not empty or cold, but full and warm. Imagine the solid rock glowing with a deep internal light, not from fire, but from the slow, steady processes of atomic decay and retained primordial energy. Feel the immense, patient power of this eternal glow. It is the planet's soul, its enduring life force. Let this knowledge fill you with a deep and unshakable sense of security. You are not living on the surface of a cold, inert stone hurtling through space. You are living on the warm, radiant skin of a world that is still alive with the fire of its birth. You are warmed from below by an eternal glow that will outlast all of human civilization. Allow the feeling of this deep, internal warmth to rise up and envelop you. Feel it as a cosmic blanket, a fundamental comfort that has existed for billions of years. You are connected to this eternal glow. You are warmed by it, sustained by it, protected by it. Let its timeless, steady presence lull you into a sleep that is as deep and peaceful as the mantle itself. Rest now in the eternal glow of the earth. In our journey, we have encountered volcanoes of all kinds, the explosive giants of the Ring of Fire, the ancient slumbering sentinels, and the hyperactive fountains of other worlds. But now, let us turn our attention to a different personality, one that embodies the very essence of patience and gentle persistence. These are the shield volcanoes, and their story is not one of violent outbursts, but of a slow, deliberate, and almost tender building of land. One peaceful lava flow at a time. The name itself, Shield Volcano, evokes a sense of protection and gentle strength. They are called this because their shape, broad, gently sloping and domed, resembles a warrior's shield lying flat upon the ground. Unlike the steep, conical peaks of composite volcanoes, which are built from alternating layers of ash and lava, shield volcanoes are built almost entirely from the accumulation of countless thin, fluid lava flows. They are not constructed by force, but by accumulation. They do not conquer the landscape. They gently and persistently merge with it. The secret to their serene form lies in the nature of the lava that builds them. This lava is basaltic, a type that is rich in iron and magnesium and relatively poor in silica. This chemical composition makes it incredibly fluid. When it erupts, it does not explode or form sticky, obstructive plugs. Instead, it flows. It emerges from fissures or central vents with the viscosity of warm honey, spreading out easily and traveling for great distances before finally cooling and solidifying. Each individual flow might be only a few feet thick, or even just a few inches. There is no drama in a single flow, only a quiet, liquid advance that gradually slows to a halt, becoming a new, solid layer of rock. Now imagine this process repeated, not for years or decades, but for hundreds of thousands, even millions of years. A single eruption may produce a flow that adds a new layer to the volcano's flank. Then, after a period of rest, perhaps years, perhaps centuries, another eruption occurs and another flow blankets the previous one. Layer upon layer, flow upon flow, the volcano grows. It expands not just upward, but outward, its slopes remaining gentle because the fluid lava simply cannot pile up steeply. It prefers to spread, to widen, to create a broad and stable foundation. This is how the Hawaiian Islands were built. Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea are not just mountains. They are the largest shield volcanoes on Earth. In fact, if measured from its true base on the deep ocean floor, Mauna Loa is the tallest mountain on the planet, standing taller than Mount Everest. And it was built entirely by this patient, peaceful process of accumulation. This slow and steady growth creates a volcano of immense stability and resilience. Its broad base and gentle slopes are not prone to catastrophic collapse. Its internal structure is not a fragile pile of ash and rubble, but a solid, interlocking mass of countless lava flows like the pages of a book pressed together over millennia. It is a mountain built for endurance, designed by the laws of physics to stand the test of geological time. Its very form is a testament to the power of consistency over cataclysm. There is a profound lesson in the shield volcano, a lesson in gentle persistence. It does not achieve its grandeur through a few moments of spectacular, violent effort. It achieves it through a lifetime of small, consistent, and peaceful contributions. Each lava flow is modest on its own, but together, over time, they create something of breathtaking scale and permanence. It is a reminder that the greatest and most stable structures in our lives are often built not in dramatic leaps, but in small, daily, patient actions. The shield volcano is the embodiment of the mantra, "Slow and steady wins the race." For the life that finds a home on its slopes, the shield volcano provides a gentle and welcoming environment. Its slopes are not treacherous, but accessible. The soil that forms from its weathered basalt is incredibly fertile. Entire ecosystems from coastal plains to misty, high-altitude forests thrive on its flanks. Human communities, too, find a home there, drawn to the stable ground and the rich land. The volcano, built by gentle flows, becomes a gentle host, so as you prepare for sleep, let your mind dwell on the image of a great shield volcano. Picture its vast, gentle slopes rising from the sea, its profile a soft curve against the horizon. Imagine the slow, inexorable process of its growth, the peaceful welling up of fluid lava, the slow, syrupy advance of a new flow, and the quiet hiss as it finally stops. Adding one more thin layer to the great, sleeping giant, let this image of patient, peaceful accumulation soothe your spirit. In a world that often values speed and drama, the shield volcano stands as a monument to the power of calm, steady progress. There is no need for force or fury to build something magnificent. There is only a need for patience and persistence. Allow the slow and steady rhythm of the shield volcano's growth to calm your heartbeat and slow your breath. Feel your own worries and stresses being layered over by a gentle, persistent peace, one thin layer at a time. You are being built up, made more stable and resilient by the quiet passage of this moment. Rest now and grow in peace, just like the great shield volcanoes. We have scaled the gentle slopes of shield volcanoes and felt the deep, eternal glow of the mantle. But the journey of magma from its source to the surface is not a simple, direct path. It is a meandering, patient voyage through a hidden subterranean world. Beneath our feet, flowing with a slowness that defies human perception, are the underground rivers of magma. These are not rivers of water, but of liquid rock, carving their way through the solid earth in a silent, monumental process that shapes the world from within. Imagine the world beneath the crust. It is not a uniform, solid mass. It is a complex architecture of solid rock fractured by immense pressures and laced with pathways and pores. When rock in the mantle melts, it does not instantly surge upward. It begins to percolate. The magma, being less dense and more buoyant than the surrounding solid rock, starts to migrate. It seeks out weaknesses, tiny cracks, fissures, and the boundaries between different rock layers. It does not force its way through with brute strength, but with a persistent, gentle pressure, infiltrating the solid earth like water seeping through a sponge, but on a scale of miles and over millennia. This migration is the first stage of the underground river. The magma gathers into small, branching channels, slowly coalescing into larger conduits. These are the planet's true arteries, the hidden plumbing system that feeds every volcano on the surface. The movement is unimaginably slow. While a water river might flow at kilometers per hour, these magma rivers often move at a pace of centimeters per year. They are not rushing torrents, but a viscous, creeping tide of incandescent liquid. Their progress is measured in lifetimes of mountains, not in the turning of seasons. As these rivers of magma flow, they do not remain unchanged. They are dynamic chemical systems interacting with the solid rock walls that contain them. This process, known as assimilation, sees the magma dissolving and incorporating minerals from the surrounding crust, changing its own composition. Simultaneously, as the magma cools slightly during its journey, certain minerals begin to crystallize out and settle, a process called fractional crystallization. This means the magma that finally reaches a volcano's chamber is often chemically distinct from the magma that began its journey deep in the mantle. The underground river is not just a transporter. It is a refinery, slowly processing and transforming the very essence of the rock it carries. Sometimes, these underground rivers do not reach the surface. They may cool and solidify entirely in the darkness, forming vast, intrusive bodies of rock with names that speak of their hidden origins: batholiths, dikes, and sills. These are the frozen ghosts of magma rivers that never completed their journey, now exposed only after millions of years of erosion have stripped away the rock that once entombed them. They are a testament to the countless journeys that begin but do not end in eruption, a reminder that much of the Earth's volcanic work is done in secret, never glimpsed by the sun. The journey of these rivers is one of profound patience and immense, quiet power. They are the connective tissue between the deep, hot mantle and the cool, living surface. They are the mechanism by which the Earth's internal heat and chemical richness are redistributed, a vital part of the planet's long-term geochemical cycles. Without these subterranean pathways, the continents would not have been built. The ore deposits that fuel our civilization would not have formed. And the geothermal energy we harness would not exist. So, as you lie in the quiet of the night, let your mind drift down into the darkness below. Imagine the slow, deliberate flow of these underground rivers of magma. Picture their incandescent glow in the absolute blackness, their viscous, patient movement through fractures in the rock. There is no urgency, only a steady, persistent progress that has continued for billions of years. This hidden circulation system is as vital to the planet as our own circulatory system is to us. Feel the stability in this hidden flow. The same slow, purposeful currents that built the ground you lie upon, still moving, deep beneath you. They are a constant, a part of the Earth's enduring rhythm. You are resting upon a crust that is alive with these slow, fiery rivers, a network of immense power held in perfect, patient check. Allow the image of these peaceful, subterranean currents to lull you into a state of deep tranquility. Let their slow, unhurried pace slow your thoughts and calm your spirit. There is no need to rush. There is only the steady, timeless flow. Surrender to it and let it carry you into a sleep as deep and peaceful as the hidden rivers themselves. Rest now, cradled by the knowledge of the slow, fiery life flowing eternally beneath you. Our journey has taken us from the mantle's glow to the hidden rivers of magma, from the gentle slopes of shield volcanoes to the cosmic connections on other worlds. We have felt the Earth's power in its many forms. But now let us travel back to the very beginning, to a time before continents, before oceans, before even the air was breathable. Let us listen for the most ancient of all geological stories, a story told not in rock, but whispered on the wind, the story of the first volcanoes. Imagine the Hadean Eon, the first 500 million years of our planet's life. The name itself, derived from Hades, the Greek underworld, evokes a place of fire and chaos. The Earth was a newborn, a sphere of unimaginable violence, still cooling from its accretion. Its surface was a global ocean of magma, a seething incandescent sea under a sky of molten rock rain and constant asteroid bombardment. There were no mountains, no valleys, only a hellish, glowing landscape. And in this world of fire, the first volcanoes began their work. They were not mountains as we know them, but simply weak points in the thin, rapidly forming crust, places where the liquid interior could well up and spill forth, adding a new, temporary skin to the world. These first eruptions were the Earth's first breaths. As the magma reached the surface, it released gases that had been trapped deep within. This was the process of outgassing, and it created the very first atmosphere. Water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and sulfur dioxide, these volcanic exhalations began to form a blanket around the planet. There was no oxygen yet. This was a poisonous, thick and steaming atmosphere, but it was a beginning. It was the raw material from which over billions of years oceans would condense and, eventually, life would emerge. The first volcanoes were not just geological features. They were the architects of our world's air and water. Their breath was the planet's first. As the crust continued to cool and thicken, these volcanic outpourings began to build the first permanent land masses. The most ancient rocks we have ever found, the Acasta gneiss in Canada, are about 4 billion years old. They are metamorphic rocks, meaning they were transformed by heat and pressure, but their origin lies in even older volcanic rocks. These are the surviving fragments of the first continents, the primordial crumbs left from a feast of fire. To hold such a rock is to touch the ghost of the first volcanoes, to feel a connection to a time when the world was new, and every eruption was building the very first foundations of land. The legacy of these first volcanoes is written into every one of us. The water that makes up most of our bodies originally condensed from that steamy volcanic atmosphere. The air we breathe, though now rich with oxygen, has its roots in those ancient gaseous releases. The very ground we stand upon is the accumulated, recycled product of billions of years of volcanic activity, starting with those first tentative eruptions on a molten world. We are, in the most literal sense, children of volcanoes. Their ancient fires are our inheritance. There is a profound and humbling peace in this realization. The forces that seem so powerful and immediate to us, an eruption, an earthquake, are merely the latest expressions of a process that is as old as the planet itself. The first volcanoes whispered the world into existence, and their descendants continue that quiet conversation today. The steam rising from a fumarole, the slow flow of lava on Hawaii, the deep rumble of a restless mountain, these are all echoes of that primeval song. We are living in the aftermath of the first fire, beneficiaries of a creative process that began in chaos and resulted in the stunning, delicate balance of our biosphere. So, as you lie in the quiet darkness, let your mind drift back across the immense span of geological time. Listen for the ancient whisper of the first volcanoes. Hear it in the rhythm of your own breath, for you are breathing their atmosphere. Feel it in the beat of your heart, for the water in your veins was once their steam. You are a part of this ancient, unbroken lineage. Let this connection fill you with a deep sense of belonging. You are not a stranger on this planet. You are a product of its most fundamental and creative forces. The same ancient, patient power that built the world cradles you now. The whisper that began 4 billion years ago is still speaking in the wind, in the stone, and in the quiet of your own body. Allow this ancient, gentle whisper to be the final sound you hear before sleep. It is a lullaby from the dawn of time, a story of beginnings, of resilience, and of continuous, patient creation. Rest now, held in the arms of this ancient truth. You are home. Sleep and dream of the first fire, whose gentle, enduring light still guides the world. Throughout this gentle journey, we have explored the many faces of volcanic power, the patient builders, the quiet breathers, the global regulators. We have traveled from the mantle's deep glow to the cosmic connections on other worlds and listened to the ancient whisper of the very first eruptions. Now, as our journey draws to a quiet close, it is time to gather all these threads into a single, profound, and deeply personal realization. A truth that is not meant to alarm, but to comfort and ground you in the most fundamental way. You are not just living on Earth. You are living on a volcanic planet. Let this truth settle over you, not as a weight, but as a warm, heavy blanket of understanding. The ground beneath your home, the road you walk upon, the very foundation of your city, all of it is volcanic in origin. Every continent was built by the slow accumulated work of countless eruptions over billions of years. The granite that forms the core of the continents, the basalt of the ocean floors, the fertile soil that grows your food, it is all a gift from the planet's interior. The air you are breathing at this very moment was largely put there by volcanoes, an ancient atmosphere created by their persistent exhalations. You are right now immersed in a volcanic world. Think of the water you drink, the vast oceans that cover most of this planet, condensed from a steamy, volcanic atmosphere in the Hadean Eon. Every drop of water on Earth has cycled through the clouds, the rivers, and the oceans, but its ultimate origin is in the fiery outgassing of the young. Volcanic Earth, the water that comprises most of your body, that sustains your life, is volcanic water. You are not just on a volcanic planet. You are made from its essence. The calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, the very carbon that forms the framework of your cells, all these elements were brought to the surface from the deep mantle by volcanic activity. You are a walking, breathing testament to volcanic creation. This is not a metaphor, it is geological fact. The planet you call home is fundamentally, inescapably volcanic. Its internal fire is not an anomaly. It is its defining characteristic. This fire is the engine that drives the tectonic plates, that builds mountains, that regulates the climate, and that enriches the soil. The same forces that we might see on the news during an eruption are the same forces that provide the stability and fertility that allow human civilization to thrive. The volcanoes are not intruders on a peaceful world. They are the world, expressing its dynamic, living nature. There is a profound peace in this acceptance. To recognize that you live on a volcanic planet is to understand that the power, creativity, and resilience of volcanoes are also within you because you are made of this world. The patient growth of a shield volcano is a rhythm you can find in your own steady progress. The deep, enduring warmth of the mantle is a symbol of your own inner strength. The fertile gift of volcanic ash is a reminder that from challenges, new growth can always emerge. You are not separate from the powerful geological forces we have explored. You are an expression of them. So, as you lie here in the quiet, let this final truth be your lullaby. You are safe. You are home. You are living on a world that has spent 4.5 billion years perfecting the art of balance. The same planet that boasts the ferocious beauty of an eruption also offers the profound stillness of a dormant peak and the life-giving bounty of its soil. It is a world of cycles of breath, of rest and renewal. Feel the solidity of the ground beneath you. Know that it is strong, built by eons of volcanic labor. Feel the air entering your lungs and know that you are breathing the ancient breath of the earth itself. Feel the warmth of your own body and know that it echoes the deep inner glow of the planet. You are cradled in the arms of a volcanic world. It has provided for you, sustained you, and shaped you. There is no need for any further effort tonight. No need to think or plan or worry. You can simply be a part of the planet. Be a child of the fire and the rock. Be at peace. Let your awareness dissolve into this deep, knowing stillness. You are living on a volcanic planet, and it is beautiful. And it is your home. Now sleep. Good night.